Here we are again. For a lot of you, for me as well, still on the high of Brisbane, still a little intoxicated by all that we saw there, and already a new series. Just tells you how quickly the game goes by, but what a good series we have on hand. India versus England in India, 4 test matches, a World Test Championship at stake. There's a reason I think India start favourites though, because for a start, India have got Bumrah and Ashwin back, and depending on the balance of the side, India could either go in with 3 pacers, 2 spinners, or 3 spinners and 2 pacers, but the batting in the top 6 is just something that the opposition will look at and say, how do we get past this? I'm expecting a big series for Shubman Gill. So Shubman Gill, Rohit Sharma, Pujara, Kohli, Rahane and Rishabh Pant. Now, the balance of the side depends on what role Rishabh Pant has. He makes the side. There's no question about Rishabh Pant not making the side. Do India play Saha as well and then leave space only for 4 bowlers? Or if India got so used to playing with 5 now in recent times that India will say, look, we haven't produced a turner for a long time. 2015 was the last time India played with raging turners at home. India played on really good surfaces thereafter, that we'll stay with Pant rather, we'll watch Pant grow and we'll play 5 bowlers. And that could mean that either Akshat Patel or Washington Sundar can play in at 7. But there's a very good chance that not a single bowler who played in Brisbane could actually play this test match. What does that tell you about the choices available to India? I hope that doesn't happen though, but we'll wait and see how that one goes. From England's point of view, they're coming after what seems like very good preparation against Sri Lanka, and it is. While the Sri Lankan bowling attack probably not quite as accomplished as India's in these conditions, but fairly similar. But there's something very peculiar about this England side. Yes, Joe Root has played a lot, but look at the other key players. The openers are coming in scarred. Johnny Bairstow played well. He's not available for the first 2 tests. Josh Buttler, I thought, played really well. He goes back after 1 test match. Ben Stokes has been such a big part of English test cricket for the last 15-20 test matches. He didn't go to Sri Lanka. Jofra Archer didn't go to Sri Lanka. Sam Curran did well against India. He's not available for the first 2 test matches. So I don't know how much the effect of having played in Sri Lanka will actually have, what effect that will have on the series here. The one big factor though is Joe Root. And I have no doubt in my mind that much like India planned for Steve Smith, India's plans for Joe Root, the sweeper, are already ready. He got 50 to 55% of his runs playing the sweep shot, either the conventional sweep or the switch hit or the reverse sweep. India's plans will be very well formulated. I think India will play on good tracks here though, because when the tracks are good, India's spinners will bowl much better than England's spinners on it. You've prepared turners, England spinners get an opportunity. And I don't know how many of India's batsmen have played on turners for such a long time. So I expect good tracks. If you remember back in 2016 as well, we played on really good tracks and India won 4-0, even though the first innings routinely produced 400 plus scores, but the game was moving very quickly because those were really good tracks. The return of Virat Kohli is a big factor. I mean, every time you looked at that Indian card and India did well, you said, right, Ajinkya Rahane 4, who's batting 5, Mayank Agarwal 5 one day. There was a bit of a hole there. Virat Kohli's return is going to be such a big part of this series. So what else? Why do I think India start favourites? Well, for a start, India haven't lost a game in India for a very long time. But if you just look player to player down that list, India just seem to have too much in the bank compared to England. Just one final point. One of the things that brought India together in Australia and made them perform beyond themselves, produce the series of a decade, of a lifetime, was that adversity brings people together. There's no greater bonding force than adversity. Now India have no adversity in front of them. They start favourites. Sometimes it can lead to a touch of complacence, and I'm sure the captain and the coach would have addressed that India need to shed what happened in Australia and start playing front runners. Australia struggled to play front runners at home. India will now have to show that they're perfectly happy playing front runners against England and win this series by a margin of 2.